Hey everybody, it's Alexis with Create Your Future. I am back with a new video, new success story. And you guys, I want to talk today about releasing resistance, how to release resistance to something that is unwanted. What does that actually mean? And how to stay on your mental diet, how to create what you're creating because it's your reality. Let's clear up some misnomers and some things that I hear a lot in misconceptions to get you on track. All right. So before I get started, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And please comment in my video and say hi. I've been loving all the comments. I've been intending for a lot of involvement in my videos. Let me know how you're doing. And also, let me know if you've watched my videos and I haven't actually met you one-on-one, or if you've purchased any of my hypnosis audios or courses and I haven't met you one-on-one. I would love to connect with you and honor you for being here and doing the work and all of that and changing yourself and creating your reality on purpose. Okay. So you guys, today, let's talk about releasing resistance, how we do it when it's about a situation. So I thought it would be really helpful to talk about a client of mine who, with her specific person, he was doing a lot of things and engaging in things that she just didn't really see as part of the total relationship for her family that she was creating and how she wanted things to go. Okay. So what did this look like, right? Before we started working on it, and I really helped her not react, be unbothered to what he was doing, and to not take it personally. Because you guys, we have to be unbothered, not react, or react as little as you can to unwanted circumstances. Okay. And then to not take it personally. What we tend to do, and what I see so many people do, is like SP or somebody is doing something. Now, in this situation, what her specific person was doing was he was working in a space and doing a job that had like a lot of event planning, a lot of event facilitation that he was doing that was like late at night. And she didn't want that for her kids and her family. And he was doing all these things in addition to his other job that she just didn't really like. Okay. Now, I noticed right away that what she was tending to do was to label. Oh, and I want to say too, if you're a client of mine or a new client and you've had this happen too, this success story is not about you. This is about someone different at this point. It's one person. But then when I have one client, it's like I have a lot of clients that are manifesting the same thing. So only if you've written in a success story is this about you. Okay. But there's a lot of you guys right now. So I thought it's really helpful to talk about the situations and then the extracurricular activities that the SP was engaging in that was not a third party. And it wasn't even engaging in work that stereotypically most of us would think is like, inappropriate or that we don't like it. It was just the hours of the job, the lack of like scheduling that this job for him provided. And then what else was it? Oh, it was like just all a bit wackadoo. Like he'd be working at 7 and then he would start working at 9. And then she was home with 2 kids and just was not working for her lifestyle. Okay. If this is you, I want you to, first of all, or this could be anything, you guys, like if your specific person has 3 jobs and you only want them to have 1, or if your specific person does tend to do a job that's extracurricular in nature that you just don't approve of because it doesn't line up with your values, I want to say right now, it is totally A-okay and possible, 1,000%, 300% possible to create that it's no longer part of your experience. But what I said is how we want to go about it, creating that it's no longer part of your experience and using the power of your mind to discreate it. Okay. Because it's one way to kind of look at it, that we're creating things and then we're discreating things. And then we're creating people, situations, love, lovability, relationship, and then we're course correcting as we go. Okay. So with this client, the first thing that she was doing is that she was labeling him having this job as rejection, like he didn't want to be home with her and the kids. He didn't love her. He didn't love them, and all of these things. She was a meaning-making machine about this in a way during like our first couple of sessions that she would just go off the rails about. Okay. And if you do this in your mind, I want to encourage you just to stop it, to dislabel, disengage, and dismeaning, right? Like stop giving it meaning. If you have a situation that's kind of like this or a circumstance kind of like this, Stop giving it the meaning that it's about you, okay? It has somehow just been created in your reality, and that's how you're looking at it. Now, if you're tend to looking at things like their rejection, or people don't accept you, people don't like you, they don't want to be home with us, then it usually comes from a deeper rejection story, okay? Now, how do we actually override a rejection story? It's number one, becoming really aware of it. It's not manifesting it away or deleting it or acting like it was never there, or this is fun one I hear, is like revising everything in your whole life so like you were never rejected. I don't know about you guys, but like I don't really want to agree to revise everything all the time and act like things didn't happen and like they had no significance and they were never there. For my evolved adult brain, that's just a lot of work, and we don't have to do that, okay? What you want to start doing now is not labeling things as rejection. Now, the funny thing is, I want to say as a caveat, in your quantum field, which is what you're working with, in your energetic reality, oh, I got to pull these out. Today, we're going to use these two, okay? We're going to use my new wand that was bought for me by my husband as a surprise on Amazon. Ooh, that is a really good example of thought transmission. And then we're going to use what is like Logan's reality. Okay, whatever. I've said this in my previous video, reality creation. I will use these, okay? In the reality where you're no longer labeling things as rejection and you no longer have the rejection story, it's almost like the events that held the rejection story in the past also discreate. I want to say that as a caveat for the people out there that want to revise everything and act like things, you know, didn't ever happen, et cetera, et cetera. You don't really have to do that, because when you're in your chosen reality where nothing means rejection, where you're always accepted and you are self-valuing, you are self-appreciating, and you are in charge of all the things that you're creating within you, and then therefore other people give them to you, there is no rejection. Isn't that weird? It's like rejection never really happened. And you can also notice that when you change your outlook on situations, when you see, oh, that has nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me being rejected. Then your viewpoint on all the past circumstances that held rejection will also change. It's like how you can kind of quantum jump from one reality to the next. And I will hear this a lot from clients, that when they're doing a mental diet, they're focusing on new thoughts, they're living in the end of a different circumstance, that when they actually step into the old reality, it's like all the stuff comes back. And that's why, because there are parallel versions, parallel realities. You are in quantum possibilities all of the time. And that reality too exists. The reality, the other reality where you are loved and adored, like in this situation, her husband is staying home with the kids and her because he likes it, that's totally available to her. Okay. I'm going to read the success story, but I have a couple more points. Okay. Big thing for her also was being unbothered, not taking it personally. I want to say it again. Being unbothered, not taking it personally, and meaning that through not resisting it happening. So before I get ahead of myself, this is what actually happened in her 3D reality. He was like, oh yeah, I got asked to do this event and I got asked to do this event. And like, hey, babe, what do you think about me and you and the kids and all of us going to Minneapolis for this event that's out there? I think I can get us all a hotel room, but I'm not really sure. I'm not really the time, et cetera, et cetera. There were a lot of details, okay? And like, just as a overall thing, that whole dynamic and all of the ups and downs with the kids, them traveling, her job, his job, family stuff, it just drove her bonkers. Okay. So I said, okay, but you got to not resist it. When he brings it up, I want you to say, oh, okay. Yeah, like maybe. Okay. Deviate your attention, do something else. You can actually use that recommendation. Oh, I don't know. Maybe. For so many things, you guys. You don't have to resist people, fight people, tell everybody what to do. You don't have to navigate everybody in your reality. You really have to do any of that. But by having just those kind of like as her arsenal, oh, okay, like maybe. Yeah, maybe. Okay. Oh, I don't know. Like, when would that be? Okay. I said, we're going to do that when he does this, that really triggers you not being enough. He doesn't want to be home with the kids, the whole rejection story. And then I said, let's focus. It's being canceled once and for all. He's done with that job. He's making so much more money at the other job. We are always together. We're having a great time. He's always with us on the weekends. That he is disinterested in that second career thing. Okay. And I said, but the only way you're going to be able to affirm and focus on this, is if you don't take the whole thing so personally and it doesn't trigger all of the other thoughts. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. I'm talking to you guys in a very funny way. I intend that it comes through because I'm really trying to get this point across. Okay. Dear Alexis, thank you so much for all of your coaching and all of your insight. And thank you so much for actually telling me what to do in my 3D reality, ... I can't believe it, but my husband straight up told me that he was totally done with that other thing that he was doing for work. I can't believe it, but I'll tell you that when he told me, it actually felt so normal, so natural, because I had been living from the reality where he was no longer interested in that it wasn't working out, that there were no opportunities, and he also got a raise at his current job. I can't believe it. We are moving forward better than ever because I feel better than ever about our weekends, about our marriage, about our whole situation as a whole, as a family. Thank you so much, XO. Okay. So you guys, this is really, really, really poignant, isn't it? Because a lot of people I talk to have that their specific person is engaging in things and doing in things that they just don't like, right? It could be a second job. It could be a third job. It could be the current job. It could be like drinking too much. Okay. It could be a third party. Okay. But this video is not about a third party, but that all exists in one reality. That is one reality. That is one way of looking at it. And in this reality too, you tend to label it that there is something wrong with you. Okay. And then you come to conscious manifesting and then you think, I created this. This is all my fault. I'm the one to blame, yada, yada, yada. But you aren't. Okay. Your reality is you. It's a projection of you, but you guys also, a lot of your lovability and your, how you tend to look at things, the automatic meaning that you give relationships, people, love, situations in your reality, it comes from your programming. Now, where did your programming come from? In your subconscious mind, your parents, 0 to 7, what you saw, what was going on, how did you label, mom and dad, dad and mom, your primary and secondary caregivers. Now, after that, between 8 and 12 to 13, you're solidifying who is in charge of what in the household. This whole thing begins to take place. And then you evolve into your years and you becoming a full-fledged adult and an individual, and you develop your individuality. There's a lot going on there. So it's like, if you want to blame anybody, you want to blame the programming that your parents gave you and then solidified for you. But like, your parents also got their programming from someone. That's where all of these like, we hear the things that the sins of the father are passed down times 7 years, because all we do, unless you're able to be conscious, be aware, and create a new system for your children, all you do is pass down the same because it feels so natural. Okay. This is why you don't want to hold it against your parents. You don't want to hold it against people, and people want to be thinking they did the best they could, meaning that they didn't know any better. Okay. So anyways, you are not to blame. It is not your fault, but you are called to here, be in charge of yourself and not being a victim to what somebody else is doing and labeling it a certain way. Okay. Like, when I said this to her, I said, well, I mean, it doesn't really sound like he doesn't want to be with you and with the kids at home. It's just like he's pulled to this other opportunity because he's trying so hard to be a breadwinner. And he wants to make more money, but you're looking at it and taking it all as rejection. You're making it all about you and how it's not working for you. Okay. And thank goodness I said that. You know, I'm often a little bit hesitant still as a coach to say things like as they are, but it tends to help people, and I also intend that it does. So it does, right? But you got to do that. You really have to put on your self-empowered, self-actualized, confident pants or skirt or palazzo pants. Okay. Someone in my past video from last week said that I was funny, and thank you guys, because I really do like to be funny in my videos, because like it lightens up these topics a little bit. Okay. But you got to put on your big girl or big boy pants or your skirt, whatever gender or you are, and really not make it about you. That's the only way, one of the only ways to get things to change, is you have to like take it. It's not about you. Okay. It's been created because you pushed it out, but how we discreate it is not taking it personally, not give it the meaning that means that. And then you guys, everything begins to change. So like, look at this. After, I know that I've seen her since this success story, they're getting closer, celebrating the holidays. He's making more money, like she said, and everything is coming together for them. So please, like, no matter what your situation is in your 3D reality, don't resist it in terms of like fighting it. And like when they say it and talk about it, what am I going to say? And this is the worst thing. And we have to fight about it. Just say, oh, okay. So like, when were you thinking of going? So like, I'm going to move out. I'm done with this. I don't want to be here anymore. Or I want you to leave. Okay. Let's say someone says that. Oh, okay. All right. Well, let me think about that. Okay. You're right. You know what? You're right. I'm going to think about that. Okay. It is just not resisting it in your 3D reality. What you resist persists. So you want to just coax your way through it while thinking new thoughts. Okay. So it's like if someone said to you, I think you should move out. I think we're done. You're saying, oh, okay. Like no big deal. I'm saying this is my place. This is my relationship. I am valued. I'm appreciated. They changed their mind. They love me. They were angry. They said something and had nothing to do with me. Okay. Really peel yourself away from it. The second scenario that I just said, they were angry, had nothing to do with me. It's a little bit different when it's like directly at you. Like this guy that she was with, her husband had a job. It wasn't like directly she and him, even though it is. Okay. I'm trying not to go all around the mulberry bush here, but you guys get what I mean, right? So you really, though, want to not resist. I can't say that enough. So if you're with your SP in your reality and they're doing a bunch of things that you don't like, be unbothered about it, be unaffected, stay on your mental diet because your thoughts are things, and that is how you recreate it. As a reminder, everybody in your reality is overhearing your thoughts. They're hearing and they're responding to how you expect them to be. So you have to kind of like purge and go through the fire of, hey, there's one reality to the next. Usually when you begin to create in that new reality, should have left these out. When you're in that new reality, the old reality will come back. And it's your job to, every time that the old reality comes back or rears its ugly head or tries to come back into your experience, you really hold on to what you're creating. You guys, your reality is an illusion. It isn't even real. It is energetic molecules like everything. It looks like matter, but it's just movable, changeable energy that is created by your thoughts and what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're projecting, what you're pushing out. Okay, that's it. Isn't that interesting? And like, isn't that kind of crazy? So it's kind of crazy that we came into the human realm, into the human body to figure out that you are like an immortal being, that you did exist and you will exist, and that you're just energy, and that the energy moves from experience to another. And that here, though, by learning this, you guys, and getting really good at it, it's a huge game changer. And in my spiritual opinion, it's like what you came here to do. It's the biggest evolution for yourself and your soul to claim in your relationship. I am the one who is valued. What I want is what's happening. We have the schedule, like in this client, we have the schedule, we have the week that I like. My family always comes first. We're always on good timing. We're always doing everything that I want to do. He is no longer doing that other job. There are no opportunities. He is disinterested. I want to say too, if you have a specific person that seems really interested in something, like if they drink too much, if they're doing other extracurricular substances, if they're, I don't know, like reading books you don't like if they're talking about conspiracy theories, but you're not into conspiracy theories, if they're into foreign languages and you're just not, okay? Start affirming. First of all, use it as an idea, not resisting it, not going to bat about it, not arguing with them about it, and not telling them not to do something, okay? Because that never works. And it usually doesn't work with manifesting. Instead, you want to not resist it and not get mad about it. Try to not get irritated, right? And not be affected by it while thinking they are losing interest in that. They are losing interest in X, Y, and Z. They are disinterested in X, Y, and Z. This could also work for a third party. This is not a third party video, okay? But if you have a third party, it is what I've always told people is that you want to affirm for the opposite. They're disinterested in them. They're losing interest in them. They only want me. Okay. If you guys want a third party video, maybe I'll do that next week. I don't do a ton of videos on that topic. Maybe I should do one. Okay. But it's all the same. Your reality is a collection of energy. It just needs new thoughts to show up and actualize differently. Okay. I'm not going to go into a rant about that, but you guys get what I'm saying, okay? So you can turn any circumstance around. You can turn any situation within your situation around, okay? You can create someone to be exactly who you want them to be through the power of your thought and who you're choosing them to be within, and persisting through and not being bothered by what's going on and not getting all up in arms and affected and all around the mulberry bush about it in your mind. Okay. And also, you guys, learn to not take things personally, and learn to think like, this has nothing to do with me. That person had a bad day, or that person is like that with everybody. I'm still amazing. I am great. I am thriving. I am having a happy-go-lucky time in my reality to finish up the year. Okay. And as I say this, and when I'm filming this, Halloween is this week. So I intend that everyone has a safe and happy Halloween holiday, and that we're moving into the last quarter of the year, or last 2 months of the year, thriving, self-actualized, stable, strong within ourselves, feeling courageous and brave, moving forwards. Okay. So, yeah, turn things around, you guys. Be unbothered, persist within. You got this. I'll see you in my next video. Have an awesome week. Like I always say, you guys, celebrate yourself, buy yourself things, do your self-care, and remind yourself how amazing you are, because you are. One.